Top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning. What's going on, everyone? We're here for episode 20. Recap of the Canadian Grand Prix. Might I say, the best Grand Prix so far this season.
Not even
I'm here
close.
with, yeah, not even close, right? I'm here with the man, the legend, Tyler.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate the intro. I'm not gonna lie, you're getting better and better at that, and I appreciate the Kendrick and Baby Keem, top of the morning, top of the morning. But yeah, I mean it is top of the morning for us, but at the same time, like I don't know, man. Yesterday it felt like a long day for F1, but it's because we finally got like a good race time to preview. I mean, I watched the race
For us,
at
yeah.
1. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, well, I thought it was supposed to start at like 11. I guess it did start kind of at 11 for
Well,
me.
freaking Marcos told me 12:30, and I sat there for 30 minutes not knowing what the hell was going on.
Yeah, and that's why we don't listen to Marcos. Marcos, I know you're probably listening, and sorry, but yeah. No, I was downstairs trying to rescue my car. That was almost a disaster. I had to
That's
fish a
true.
spark plug out of the threads, but I was down there and I see Tyler message us, lights or formation lap starting. I was like, oh shit, formation lap already, and I'm running back and forth, throwing stuff in my garage. Run upstairs. I turn it on. I see the first turn. I made it in time for the first corner. So
No, hell yeah. And honestly, I mean, we'll get into it, but the first corner was pretty clean, so really, you didn't really miss anything. But I mean, yeah,
nothing.
I guess let's just get right into it. I mean, Saturday, actually, stupid exciting qualifying day. I mean, it was raining. A lot of people, it aided some people, it hindered some people. I mean, we see Alonso starting in P2, literally locking out the front row with Verstappen, which is hilarious in my opinion. You had Magnussen and Schumacher have their highest start times like to date with P5, P6. And of course, we'll get into why Haas always finds a way. But I mean, yeah, qualifying was stupid
Lewis
exciting.
Lewis outqualified George, but I think that was because George made that crazy take to try to go to slicks when it was still wet out there.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm not gonna lie. I like
Me
the
too.
bold decision. I did like it. I didn't think. I know some spots they had a very big dry line like ready to go, so I
Yep,
agree with it. But
there was risk.
unfortunately, there was some risk, and the risk the risk came into play this time around. But honestly, if it would have paid off, I think those slicks, since he was the only one,
He would have
we
got first.
we might have seen a George Russell P1 for Saturday.
Yeah. Uh, dude, Danny Rick outqualified Lando, and I think he finished ahead of him too.
Yeah, yeah, that was big. That was big. I mean, overall, McLaren looked kind of. We'll talk about it. Just kind of the whole weekend, kind of just looked kind of lackadaisical. But
They
I
look like
mean,
McLaren.
yeah, I mean, yeah. But yeah, this race solidified it for me. I was talking with Chris the entire race, but I think this race solidified it for me that it is not the drivers. Don't blame it on Danny. Don't blame it on Lando. It is not the drivers at all. It is 100% the team. They got team orders flying all over the place. They got a car that can't keep up on the straights. They got, I don't know what's going on.
They almost got as bad a pit stop as the Ferrari crew,
And that's saying something.
or at least the strategists. The strategies that they've ran, like I remember one race they had Danny Rick like switch to hards when everyone else was like running like softs or mediums. It was weird. I
Yeah, a
don't know.
little
Weird
questionable.
stuff.
A little questionable.
Very questionable their decision making. But yeah, that was our starting grid. I didn't anticipate any of that. Like I did not see Alonso anywhere near the top 3. And the range came out to play and Alonso was just he was on fire. Couldn't touch him. Second place to start. That was awesome. I saw him say apparently Max called him old and he said, "Well, I'm going to pass him on the first lap." I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't know about that, bud." That was funny though. He's a troll, so I appreciate that.
I mean, if he got him off the start, since P2, like, yeah, P1 off the start, you get that inside line for that first left turn. But
Mhm.
if P2 had the jump on the start, you could ride the outside wheel to wheel and then have the inside line for the right hander. So like it was
Yeah.
possible. It just I don't think you're gonna beat that Red Bull off the jump with the Alpine.
If it was Leclerc in first and Max in second, Max is definitely getting him on the second corner.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's sticking his elbows
100%.
out and pushing them wide like the whole way.
God, that dude can drive.
Okay, well, it actually now that you said that, just a small tangent. If Leclerc and Max were on front row, do you think turn one wouldn't have been as clean as it was?
I think it would be clean. I don't have any reason to believe that Max and Leclerc will uh have a Lewis Max kind of thing going.
That's fair.
I mean, you saw them in the first two races, like they were close, man. They had some good fights and it was always clean. So I don't think that they would have. I think it would have been clean, but I think Max would have got him on the second turn, like you were saying.
No, yeah, you got a point. And small little tangent again. Can I just get a shout out for Joe Guan Yu starting P10? I believe
Dude,
that might have been his highest qualifying weekend.
hey, this is the second weekend in a row he's outqualified Valtteri,
I
and Valtteri's
know.
been known for his qualifying performances. Just
I
saying.
know.
Just saying,
That's
man.
pretty big for the Rook.
Very big. And then I think we should just jump in driver standings updates. Max still championship leader with 175 points. Then Perez 129. Leclerc is 3 points off of him at 126.
Yeah.
Uh, so Leclerc has 49 points gap between him and Verstappen. So it's growing, man. It's growing.
And like you
Uh,
said, like you said in that quote, that's just 2 wins and he's back in it. And he
two
firmly
wins.
believes he can do that. He just needs a freaking team behind him, honestly.
I mean, it's good that at least one person in Ferrari has a set of balls on him and wants to win.
I
But
know, right? Very clearly.
like Jesus. And then
Like Jesus, man.
George Russell, he's creeping up 111. He's still ahead of Carlos Sainz. Like, gosh, man, that dude is so consistent.
Mr. Consistent.
Yep, Mr. Consistent.
P4 on the
Uh,
grid, P4 in the standings, P4 in my heart right now.
hey, dude, he might be P1
He might be P1.
in the heart. Uh, nah, Leclerc. But uh, we have the constructors, Red Bull 304 points, Ferrari 228. Man, that's a huge gap. But at least they were able to close in a little bit this weekend.
Yeah, they
With
closed in the DNF from Checo. We'll get into it, but that that
yeah.
uh that really helped that out.
Yeah, and now they're starting to pull away from Mercedes again, so that's nice. You gotta see a little gap there. But yeah, top three teams obviously Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, and then everyone else is behind them. Surprisingly, did I say McLaren? I meant
Yeah,
Mercedes. But
Mercedes.
surprisingly, McLaren is fourth in the constructors.
And I don't think that has to do with McLaren doing good. I just think from 4 down to 10, it's just any given weekend one of those teams could pop off. And so
Look,
far it's just been consistently McLaren.
think about it though. McLaren's car is a tractor. Like we could all
Yeah.
agree, it's the
John Deere
slowest
green.
car.
Should have painted it
John
John Deere
Deere.
green.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Google rims aren't helping much, but no, yeah, their car is clearly pretty awful. Honestly, like from preseason testing and stuff, you might even have to say it's as bad as the Aston Martin and the Williams. But those drivers, man, the drivers are really they're like we talk about Alex Albon, he's outperforming the car. I mean, Danny Rick and Lando are outperforming that McLaren so much to the point that they're P4 in the constructors.
Yeah, no, I mean that's kind of why I was very much convinced after this weekend. I mean, you've been saying it forever now, but I'm very much convinced after this weekend that it is not the drivers whatsoever. It's not like the drivers on these straights are letting up, going flat out. It's not like the drivers are like. There's no way they can be doing this. So it's literally it's a crap car. You have Zach Brown. I love that team to death, but damn it, man! Like you have Zach Brown like tossing out team orders left and right of hold this. You got both drivers battling for P8, P9 on a weekend. Like it's gonna do anything different for your team. You got both. Like you got. It's just I don't know. I don't know what they can do to salvage this besides just fix the freaking car. Like if they had a champion car or if they had at least a race winnable car, like I could deal with maybe the team orders. I could deal with maybe the strats. I could do because they could salvage it, but they don't even have that. So it's like I'm not sure how they're P4 in the standings right now, but Alpine, I know why they're above Alpine because Alpine's mid. Alfa Romeo, Zhou Guanyu's
Ocon
just had.
sucks.
Ocon sucks. Uh, I mean, no slight to Ocon. It's just, dude, I
It's
like.
slight to Ocon.
It's a slight to Ocon. I mean, Alfa Romeo, they're there at P6 because like Zhou Guanyu's been played with bad luck, so they've really virtually only had one car finishing every
And
race.
think about it, Alonso had a lot of bad luck to start the season off.
Yeah, yeah, you are right. I don't think he had like a clean weekend all weekend or all season really,
Yeah, he had a new engine like for the first 3 or 4 races.
which is hilarious. Like I don't
Yeah.
know how that even happens.
As Ferrari.
As Ferrari, I mean, no, they're Renault powered, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're Renault power, but I'm saying like Ferrari can teach you about using 4 engines. They're already on the fourth for Leclerc.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I guess you're right on that one. And then AlphaTauri's
Yeah.
seventh. I think Pierre Gasly's just coming out of a slump, so that I guess that's their Aston Martin. All hope is gone there. Uh, Haas had, I mean, they're at 15 points now, which actually they've been at 15 points for a while because they started P5, P6, and both of them finished out of the points. So that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, what man,
And
what is
Williams,
going on with Haas?
I'm pretty sure freaking Alex Albon has all three of those points by himself.
Yeah, Albon has all 3 of the Williams points and Magnussen has all 15 of the Haas points.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Look, it's really I saw someone today, they did that tweet where they're like the talent and then the luck, and it was Mick Schumacher having all the talent and no luck. I can agree with the no luck part, but I'm not giving him that much talent, honestly. Like I know he's F2 and F3 champ, but like I mean, Zhou Guan Yu's arguably had worse luck than him this year, and he's had 2 points finishes now.
And I would even say they're in similar cars too.
I mean, dude, yeah. I mean, maybe the Alfa Romeo is a bit better.
Maybe
I
as
don't
a
know,
slight edge, like a slight edge, but even
not
then,
much.
not much off the pace. Like there's no way.
Yeah, I mean, Alfa Romeo. Oh, okay, yeah. I guess Alfa Romeo is a lot better. They're 51 points for the team versus the 15 for
I mean,
Haas.
yeah,
But
but that's easy when you have VB on your team.
yeah, it's Valtteri. But man, like Magnussen, what happened to him, dude? He did really good to start the season, and now he's just been in a slump.
Well, I'm not entirely sure if he had a scuff with the wall, if it was a little scuff off the start, but what is it like lap one or lap two before the
Oh
opening of the race? He had
yeah,
that front wing damage, and he tried.
it was
It wasn't bad. He tried to ride it out, ride it out, ride it out, and then he got black and orange flagged because it was getting too bad, so they forced him to pit.
he was going wheel to wheel with Lewis again
Yeah,
because
again.
he's
Yeah.
he's the king at battling with Lewis, but he does not ever end up on top. So he went wheel to wheel with Lewis, and then he got a little kiss of Lewis's Mercedes power, and it damaged his front wing. I remember that. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
know. It had a little hanging by the thread, the little wingtip.
yeah. So I guess that really screwed his race up, and then Mick had that the car failure, which geez, man, like
Yeah,
I
which
can't
that one
I
isn't
can't
his
fault
fault,
him.
but
Yeah, I can't fault him for this performance, but like it was refreshing to see him and Joe racing though. That was cool. That was
no,
really
that
cool
was
to see
really
that.
cool to see.
Dude, there was a lot of battles this weekend. What were some of your favorites?
I mean, let's see. We had the mid pack of we had Danny Rick, we had Gasly. Well, here, let's see. Hang on.
Yeah, it was Gasly, Danny Rick, oh man, Vettel was in the mix, and then
It was Albon, Joe Guan Yu, Danny Rick. Russell was leading that for a little bit, and honestly, the drop back from Magnussen helped Russell out. I had him predicted P2, and it was looking good for a little bit, considering Perez DNF'd pretty early on in the race. By the way, I just want to say that I totally called that last episode. I
he
said
did.
I said one Red Bulls, doesn't matter who, they're just due for a bad weekend. Something's gonna happen, and lo and behold, it freaking did. We had that four. I actually think it was Albon, Joe Guan Yu, Bottas, and Ricardo, and I think Ocon was at the front of that holding people up. that was good to see the mid pack. I know. I mean, Verstappen easily pulled away from Alonso and just created a gap, and he was in his own freaking racing league the whole race. Uh,
The last like 15.
besides the last 15 laps, and a little bit before that, when Max came out of his first pit stop, when Lewis
Mhm.
came out ahead of him, and it looked like
Oh,
2021 again, and Lewis and Max were going at it.
that was fun. That was
I
fun to
liked
watch.
seeing that a lot.
Lewis just let him by eventually. He was like, "Dude, there's no way I'm keeping up with
Oh
this
yeah,
Red Bull."
dude. I
But
mean, Alonso from P2 already understood that he was racing Hamilton this race. He had no business being up there.
you you know what? I will say maybe we give Ocon too much shit, but like the whole Alpine strategy of, oh, we can't race with these guys. Let's just try to hold them up. That just, oh, I hate that so much. I hate
It's
it with every
very
fiber in
like
me.
no, I actually hate it too because you're totally right in thinking like it's oh man, we know we can't win, so let's just sabotage. It's such a cop out thing to do when it's like, okay,
Yeah.
let's sabotage, and or you could take two schools of thought at it, and it's like you go in and sabotage everybody else's race, or you focus on, all right, let's maximize our stuff and go like that. But like you said, they just cop out for the, okay, we're not racing these guys, there's no way we're going to win this race, even starting P2 or even staying at the front of the grid. Let's just hold everyone else up, let's try to hold up the Ferraris.
Yeah,
Like
that
it's
was the one that was, I was like, "Oh, you guys suck so much." It was like, they were calling, they were on Ocon's radio, and they're like, "Alonso's behind you. Don't think he'll pass you, but if it happens, we'll try to keep the Ferrari behind," or something like that. I'm like,
yeah,
dude,
like that's
first of all, laughable you think you can keep the Ferrari behind you, let alone Leclerc. Second, like, ugh, I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes
only
sense.
Ferrari can keep the Ferrari behind you.
Yeah, and which they tried their damnness with that shitty pit stop.
Dude, oh my, honestly, nah. Let's jump right into it, dude. Can Ferrari figure it out? Like,
No,
I'm gonna start yelling because there's no way that you can have a championship freaking team like everyone else is dying for a championship team. McLaren would love to have an ounce of the championship team caliber that y'all have, but y'all can't get a freaking pit stop right to keep your guy racing at the front. Like he's
dude.
doing everything he can.
He stretches those hard tires out. He gets to the point where he's behind Ocon. Here's a theme here: behind Ocon, can't get past him
I
because they're
know.
like, Ocon had fresher tires. Leclerc was slipping, sliding around the track. They say, okay, we'll have to pit, right? We're gonna have to pit. Makes sense. Uh, So you think, okay, we have our driver. He's going from P19 to start the race. He's up like super far up, like I don't know, like P7 at the time or something, P6. And there's a massive DRS train. So you think the team might be like, okay, yeah, let's nail this pit stop for our boy. He comes in, the guy in the back misses the little I don't know what you call it, the lift that pulls the back end of the car up so you can
Yeah.
swap the tires out. They have a 5-second pit stop. He winds up right behind the DRS train that they were trying to avoid. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
and it gets held up for another 10 or so laps.
I mean,
Yeah, like, dude,
yeah,
it's self-sabotaging at its best.
yeah, he made his way through that DRS train pretty easily, but like, come on, like he got a P5 finish. Imagine if he didn't get held up. If they had a way better pit stop, what could have happened then? Who knows? Maybe he's
Oh, it
P4,
would have been
P3.
Verstappen P1, Sainz P2, Leclerc P3. If not, you could swap Sainz and Leclerc, and then Hamilton was going to finish P4 100%.
Dude, like what? Like I don't know, man.
That's
It
what I'm
it really
saying.
just
It's literally self-sabotage. They would have an even smaller gap to Red Bull after that. But no, we can't have a
like
clean. Like, how many freak? I want to know how much those freaking pit teams practice, because obviously they're practicing a lot. But damn, man, holy, like it's some. At this point, if I'm the team principal, I'm literally shrugging my shoulders and just accepting that. Oh well, it's always something with that group. It's like, dude, what the hell?
they're not getting the summer break off. They're gonna be doing practice reps if
Hell
I was
no.
running that show.
They're gonna be at Maranello freaking 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day doing thousands of pit stops.
Yeah, man, it just it really sucks because like sure, like, okay, yeah, the pit stop could have been like 2.5 seconds faster, let's say. Let's say they did a 2.5 second stop. Then he ends up in front of the DRS train, doesn't have to degrade his tires so much trying to get past the train. He's got more clean air, he can easily catch back up to Ocon and Alonso and battle those guys because you're going to need a little bit of tire for that. Because they're very good at defending, and maybe that is like to maximize your points, you have to hold up the rest of the grid, whatever. Uh, and then he gets past them. He was only like 2 or 3 seconds off of George, who was only 2 or 3 seconds off of Lewis. So I don't know. We could have seen a lot. We could have seen a way better finish for Ferrari and for Leclerc. The titles, both of the championships would have been a lot closer. Uh, but whatever. I don't know.
I have a theory. Do you think Lewis Hamilton sandbags everything in his life?
He is a sandbagger. Did you see
Because
that?
Friday he releases a quote, "The car is so bad, bro." Like,
Did you see that
and then
video?
P3 Sunday. Which video?
Just- he was like, it looked like he was about to cry, man. He looked like he's on the verge. He's like, this car is so bad, man. And someone posted the video. They're like, and cut, Lewis. Good one. I was like, oh my god.
Dude, I mean, yeah, he puts his hand on his head. He's like, "Man, this car is just horrible. This, like, my back, this, that, and the other." Literally smiling ear to ear. P3 on Sunday.
Uh,
He sandbags everything, bro. Obviously Mercedes is getting more consistent. Like, you can't
my
sit
guy
here and
said,
lie. Like, they're getting way more consistent now.
let's retire the car and save the engine. Comeback performance P5 or something.
Yeah, literally last to P5. Like, it doesn't make sense at all. He sandbags in every aspect of his life.
Yeah. Hey, I will say, Leclerc was pulling a Lewis though with the P19 to P5 driver of the day
Yeah,
performance.
very deserving of the driver of the day.
And honestly, like it's really hard to like. Max did so good. Like Max was flawless, but it's like you know when you're flawless and then like Leclerc did the 19 to 5. Like damn, that's impressive. Like and that's also considering that Ferrari totally botched the pit stops and made it even more hard for him to get that P5.
That's what I'm saying. He could have easily been P3 or P2. Like, actually, I firmly believe in that. Because if Sergio Perez could have done it in 2020 in a freaking racing point, like in a pink Mercedes, like, yes, I think Leclerc in this year's car, if
The red
Ferrari
Ferrari.
freaking believe in it, that he could have done P2, P3 easily with Ferrari being 2 and 3 and Max Verstappen being 1. Like, he easily could have done it. But of course, classic Ferrari, like you said, they just have to make it that much harder for their drivers to really show how championship level the drivers are. Because I mean, Sainz looked on fire too. He had a
Signs,
great
yeah,
weekend.
yeah, he was doing great, man, and I gotta say, I have to admit, I've been giving Signs a really hard time, and I'm wrong on that. Signs is definitely the number two driver that they need. He's right on the team, and like just like in Monaco, whenever Leclerc, and same for last season, whenever Leclerc falls short, Signs is right there to keep them in the battle and pick up right where Leclerc left off.
It's a good safety net. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's a very good safety net to have. Just like I think Mercedes now has that safety net. If Lewis is dropping the ball, George will pick it up. If George is dropping the ball, Lewis will pick it up. So, like last year, I could say the same sometimes about VB and Lewis, but it was very much Lewis dominating the whole year. He didn't really have a lot of he didn't really need a whole lot of help. But
Valtteri, he is kind of hit or miss. Like he definitely shines in qualifying, but like race day, you don't know if you're getting the good or the bad VB.
I mean, you're right. You're right. Literally, it's like that's what I'm saying. Which this isn't the driver's fault, but it's literally Leclerc this year. You're guaranteed him to do something spectacular in qualifying, but it's going to be up to the team if they can get him through freaking 50 plus laps, because they can focus on 10 laps at a time, but they can't. They're anything over 20. I mean, anything over 20 to have a strategy, the ball's being dropped somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But hey, it was a great race for Lewis, a nice comeback. People must have forgot about him we've seen all the hate all year long on Lewis. Dude can still drive, and P3 first or second podium of the year actually for him.
Yeah, he's sitting
I was
P6 in the standings.
yeah, I was excited to see that. You know, I love seeing Lewis do good. I sometimes like I can't stand a lot of these like super hardcore like only Lewis or Mercedes fans because they can be a
Yeah.
little over the top. Like I saw one guy say, "Oh yeah, Checo isn't a real driver to me." I'm like, dude, what are you tweeting off your couch, bro? What's a real driver to you then?
Yeah, we got an armchair analyst over here, dude.
I mean, shit, I'm no better, but like at least I show respect to these
I
drivers.
mean,
Like,
yeah, at least we're flat. Like, bro, I love the whole grid. It's just numbers at this point. I mean, F1's cutthroat, man. Like, if you're
I might
not producing, you're not producing. Like, that's
I
it.
might go out here and say Latifi sucks or Ocon sucks, but
I mean,
I
that's
mean,
just fact, though.
put me in a cart against them and we'll see who really sucks.
I mean,
You know?
yeah, it's not like we're saying we're gonna get behind these F1 car. Dude, I don't even know how to drive an F1 car. Like, I probably get in there and anti-stall it. But
You get
like,
me in there, I'm doing a Tom Cruise, brother. I'm setting now my own personal best every lap I get out.
oh yeah, and then you're putting it in the dirt in the desert.
Yeah, that's fine. You know, it's learning
Yeah, that's
pains.
fine. No, I mean, yeah, I can't stand because we have some of our friend group. I can't stand the Lewis hate. Is he my favorite driver? No. Is he a little bit of a complainer? Yeah, but aren't
Definitely a diva.
all like, bro? All F1 drivers are in some sort. Some more than others, but it's like you gotta respect the dude. He's in a non-championship qualifying car. He's making the most out of it. Yes, is he complaining every step of the way about the car? Yeah, of course. But
It's a
because
shit box.
I mean, yeah, he wants to drill it into the public. Like, hey, I promise it's not me. Put me in a Red Bull or Ferrari, like I'll be up there too. But it's just like it's just the car. But the only thing I can see from an audience point of view of, oh, well, we like Russell more and this and the other. I get it. It's theoretically the same car, although shout out Mirko and F1 data analysis, that he does really go in depth on how, like, they may look like the same car. They may look, I promise you they're not. Because he
Yeah.
broke down, once again, F1 data analysis. Please go check him out. He broke down this weekend's race and explained why Carlos wasn't able to attack Verstappen as close as he probably could, is because Verstappen was running much lower drag and had very much quicker over long distance. Carlos had a little bit more downforce, which allowed him to attack faster. He just couldn't sustain it. So once he would get up to
Mhm.
speed, that was about it. The slipstream had virtually no effect because I mean there was just nothing more to push the car down. There's not like his back wing setup was not drastically different from Verstappen's, but definitely different in pitch and angle and even wingtips. Like the two right and left corners were straight out instead of slightly curved like Max's, and that just showed why Max was faster. And it goes to show like the tiniest of details from these cars can change your entire race.
Dude, yeah, for sure, 100%. Man, I kind of knew it was going to be like Miami where you need to be in the DRS range to keep up with Max, but you can't, there's no getting past him. Like
Yeah, no, you can keep up
that
with
Red
them.
Bull's lightning fast on the straights, dude.
No, it literally glides, and the fact that it can go that fast was very. They still have porpoising, but it is not anywhere near like any of these cars, dude. The Ferrari looked horrible on the straight. It was fast. Don't get me wrong, still fast, but it looked horrible to drive on the straight. Mercedes, we all know, looks horrifyingly bad on the straights. Uh, Porpoising a little bit in the AlphaTauri, uh, not so much in the Aston Martin and McLarens because we all know they can't even get that fast to begin with to
They got to get
start
up to speed
porpoising.
first.
Yeah, they never actually quote unquote get up to speed. But it's like it's not nearly as bad as the Red Bull, and you would think with Aston Martin going with Spec B, it would be that. But that's when you just understand that just because you copy a body style doesn't mean you have the ground effects right, doesn't mean you have the setup right, doesn't mean you have the strat right. I mean,
Yeah,
it could be anything at that point.
yeah, yeah. There's a man. It's a great sport. There's a lot of cool engineering that goes behind it, and I love reading those tweets from Mirko. He always keeps the timeline interesting. I think he also was talking a little bit about the porpoising issues, and it sounded like the Ferrari car has a high frequency in the bounces, but a low magnitude. So like, it's not like jumping up and down
Yeah, it's
like the
just a really nice
Mercedes.
vibration instead of a freaking.
Yeah, it's like it's just more consistent. So he was saying like, depending on how the FIA decides to like measure the porpoising, it could really change. Like maybe Ferrari gets out and they don't have to change their design, or maybe they measured in one way and now the Ferrari's screwed. But I think either way they slice it, Red Bull should still be in a good place. I'm glad that they're taking action on driver safety, but I'm also glad they found a way to do it without like punishing teams that figured it out.
Yeah, no, I mean that would literally be right. And another thing too is like what was I gonna say? Like with these cars this year, and especially some of these tracks. I mean, what I guess a track we haven't seen yet. What would you other than the ones we have seen, what would be the worst track for porpoising? Because I mean, obviously any track with long straights, so we can go ahead and say Canada, Baku. But like, how is this going to affect Spa? How is this going to affect like
Monza.
Monza? How is this going to
Oh,
affect like, what are we going to see there? Because I mean, do you see regulations? Do you see porpoising getting addressed before these tracks?
I don't know. We'll see how fast they act on it. I mean, they made a pretty quick decision, but it sounds like a lot of the drivers were saying, "Oh, it's not that bad. It's not," because now they found out what's going to happen, and so teams are trying to cover themselves
Yeah,
because
the complain, 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 complain. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Okay, it's not that bad, I promise.
yeah. But Lewis was like, "No, no, it's bad. Like we need to keep on this." So I don't know. We'll see. They may be slower to react now that some teams are like, "Actually, we're okay." But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I can't speculate really on the timeline of it. But yeah, that could really mix things up. And honestly, I think personally McLaren's poised the best to take advantage of changes like this.
Dude, they need any help they can get right now with some sort of regulation like that because that can move them in. I mean, let's see, we got Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes. The Mercedes and McLaren are pretty like I would say kind of the same car. It's just literally Mercedes has the edge on the straights and McLaren doesn't. But once McLaren does get that edge on the straights, it could I mean, you could get a P3, but the gap is already so big that I think Mercedes is gonna remain consistent and, it's long gone at this point.
I think for McLaren to get the straight line speed, they're gonna have to sacrifice their like they obviously have the advantage in all their corners, but they're gonna have to sacrifice that to get the straight line speed. So who knows where the car would shake up if they did make changes like that? Because it could just put them in the same boat.
I mean, yeah, it could.
At
It
least at least in my opinion, you have a good starting point where you've nailed one aspect of your design. You're lacking in one, so you can start to slide the scale a little bit. Like, okay, let's try to work on this. Okay, we took away too much from that. Let's move it back a little bit.
Yeah, no, you definitely right, but when is that gonna start? Because I don't even see them doing that now.
They may just be focused on the next season, just like Ferrari. They're not in the title fight or anything, so
Yeah, no, you're right. It's it's not looking good. Not even in the question for the title fight, but it's like you got to salvage something on this year because you started out. I mean, first race we saw it, everybody was like, okay, this was not the papaya team we saw last year. Okay, cool. As long we're at rock bottom, so let's keep going up. And then you kind of just remained at rock bottom for a little bit. And
you can't even have a relapse because you're still there.
dude, oh my god, dude, be nice. But no, it's so hard. Like that's my favorite team, and I want them to succeed. But I just don't know where. Like currently, right now, I just don't know where they need to go. One, I think they need to stop putting any effort into strategy, team orders, driver one, driver two. take all that effort you're putting into that, because it's a lot for whatever reason. Uh, put it into freaking developing your car, please. Like, do something. I want to see at least, like, okay, by race 10, I would like to see a little bit bigger of a drastic change with that car. I don't know where that drastic change is going to come from. But sorry, excuse me. I coughed a little bit. But like, is it ground effects? Is it aerodynamics? Is it, you know, is it the body style of the car? Is it the driving setups? Do you need to go with a way more aggressive setup and like, like, I don't know. I just need to see a little bit more drastic of a change, because I know they brought some upgrades, and I know like they have obviously changed some things, but I I mean, but even then, that could be the wrong answer, because Aston Martin did it and nothing happened. So it's like,
uh,
it's like,
I don't know. I think the Aston Martin's definitely gotten a lot more competitive since they made the changes. It was weird though that they did Vettel did amazing in Q3 and then in 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 FP3, and then in qualifying he was just like nowhere to be found in Q1.
yeah,
So it
and he
was
was
weird.
screaming about it.
Yeah, that was
Like,
weird.
was that his
Uh,
fault? There's no way that could have been his fault, right?
I don't know. I don't know what. I didn't even get to hear the radio really. I was in the middle of doing something else
He
and
was sitting there.
okay.
He goes, "Oh man, what was that?" He literally asked the question out loud. He goes, "Dude, what was that? So different from this morning. So different. It felt like the rear was broken." That's what he said.
Huh.
Like,
Wow.
I was about to say, there's no way you could be at the top of the charts, P1, P2, or something, like within top five at FP3, and literally 2 hours later be out in Q1. Like, there's no
Yeah,
way.
that was
There's
weird.
no
What
way.
did they do, man? They were like, we can't let you show up Stroll at his home race. Sabotage.
Yeah,
Nah, they
self
wouldn't
sabotage.
sabotage their own. They
No,
wouldn't
they need
sabotage
Vettel,
their.
bro. He's retiring after this year if he ain't doing anything. Like, he's got to get some sort of results. And right now, of course, with him and his potentially last year in F1, like, I mean, you got to salvage that shit box somehow.
Dude, where does Aston Martin go if he retires? Who do they get? Yeah,
If
that's
Piastri gets picked up, you get Nick DeFries.
okay. So they got a couple options at least.
But if
Dude,
both
did
of
you?
them get picked up, I don't know. But
So
go
I
on.
think
But go on.
I saw some rumors that Mick might be getting replaced with Giovinazzi as like their number one option to replace him if he doesn't step it up.
Is that really an upgrade?
I don't know. I think Giovinazzi still like hasn't made points in FE Formula E or something.
Like, it's just, after seeing what he did, like, dude, Giovinazzi was in a way better car than Mick last year, and still managed to not like really be far away from him in the standings at all. So it's like, what makes you think if the Alfa Romeo and the Haas car are they're like you said, I would say they're different. Like, Alfa Romeo's definitely has the edge in some areas, but I don't know. Haas did a pretty good job on their car. It's just, I don't know, man. Like, I don't see that as an upgrade. Just like, let's see, how'd I put this? I wouldn't compare Stroll and Latifi as the same, but that's like, it's literally going for driver for driver. Like, it's just as good as putting Nico Hulkenberg in there. Like, the dude's never podiumed. He has points, but he's never podiumed in his entire F1 career. He's been in pretty decent cars. Like, it's kind of like that. I see Antonio Giovinazzi as kind of one of those drivers. And from Mick to Antonio, yeah, you're buying experience and maybe some easier like data collecting stuff, but that's about it. But that's just my opinion. That's just my
Yeah,
opinion.
I think they have to go with Mick for at least one more year after this year, even though I've been pretty hard on him as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you had to at least give him that 2023 season and then kind of assess from there. See where to go with that.
Give him the 2023 and have a tight ass leash.
Yeah, and he's had some bad luck. I mean, you saw what freaking AlphaTauri did when they started to put a leash on Yuki. Yuki got way better.
That's true. That's true. Although he just
So
straight up sent it out of the pit lane this weekend. But
that was weird.
that was just flat out weird. Like, what the hell? I know there were cold tires and he just got thrown on and like he was trying to turn, but he literally just kept going straight. He came out of the pit lane, got his car right. He goes, "All right, thanks guys, sweet." Puts it in the wall.
Alright, Imma head out.
like, like I don't, I don't, and it wasn't just like we saw a bunch of these soft contacts, like they went into the wall. All they had to do was keep the engine alive, and the front wing was great. Mind you, I actually think these front wings are way stronger than they were last year because
Yeah.
they take really good impact. But we saw a lot of soft wrecks, and they were able to save it and bring it back, whatever. But you could just straight up out of the pit lane, puts it in the wall, breaks both axles. He's like, "Sorry guys," and it was just radio silence. I was like, yeah, well,
At least he wasn't too far from the pits, they could easily just roll him back there.
I mean, yeah, fair, but Jesus, man, you're coming out of the pits to continue racing, not go back into them immediately after.
Yeah, that sucks. That was unfortunate for Yuki.
Yuki
Um,
ee.
I wanna go to our next section, which is, can't touch this. Can't
Can't
touch
touch
this.
this.
Max can't get touched. He's too fast. He's the best.
Yeah,
What's up with Max,
that's
man?
just straight up. Yeah, I mean, you're right on every accord on that. He literally can't be touched right now.
Dude, like, man, you almost for like 15 laps straight was on him, dude.
Yeah,
He
no,
was so
can't touch
close
him.
behind him, and like, oh, dude, the closest he got was like zero point 0.4 seconds behind him.
And like, yeah, you think because they go into the turn, they slow down. Carlos looks like he's right on his wing, and then right when they straighten up to accelerate for the straight, boop, fucking 5/10 right there. Like
Later.
he's already ahead of him. Like he absolutely dusts people with the acceleration on the straights coming out of turns. I mean, maybe that Red Bull isn't stupid fast in turns, which it's still stupid fast in every aspect of the track. But like for his acceleration and straight line speed, there and with Canada being a track that 90% of all the overtaking is on straight lines, there's no way you're overtaking that guy.
Yeah, I mean, you think that Ferrari might learn their lesson after the Miami Grand Prix, where it was a similar boat, where yeah, Leclerc was right behind him, would catch up, catch up, catch up. They get into the straight. The only thing keeping them close is the DRS, and then the Red Bull still pulls off. Do you think that it's the design of the Red Bull, or it's the lack of the setup for the Ferrari that's really hindering them?
Uh,
Maybe combination of both.
I think it might be combination of both because I have to. The Red Bull design is working, but at the same time, Ferrari's design is just as good as Red Bull's, just in different aspects. So like, I
Yeah,
can't really give the edge to the design, but
but
I can give There's definitely issues with Ferrari's setup, and
so
like
my question is the difference in the design just setup? Is it just setup? That's the question that
I mean, it's
Ferrari needs
got
to
to
be
be right.
asking.
Well, I mean, what's wrong with Ferrari? We haven't heard one complaint or one like blame of, oh, I think we got the design wrong. I think we got it. Out of all their upgrades, they haven't changed the design even a little bit. Red
Their
Bull,
design's great.
yeah, no, their design's great. Ferrari's design is wonderful, actually, but Red Bull, need we not forget, uh, they definitely had their day one car is not the same as this car. So like
Yeah.
they adjusted their camber and their body design a little bit. It wasn't a drastic adjustment, but it's been adjusted. So Ferrari holding their own with the design, that just tells me 100% it's not the design, and it has everything to do with how they're setting up what they currently have in front of them is just straight up wrong. It like some weekends they have just like this just like this weekend, they compared the two back wings for Sainz and Leclerc. They're different.
Mhm.
They compared the two
Oh,
like
Leclerc had a different rear wing?
yeah, Sainz had a more aggressively downforce wing with the back top of the wing being completely leveled flat all the way across with the pointy sides, and then it swoops down into like the aggressive like angle, right? Leclerc's was his two pointy sides at the end were like tapered off. So it goes straight and loops, right? And the 2 points, instead of hard right angle points, they like chopped off the points and made them more rounder. And his wing, like the DRS wing setup, was a little bit more flatter than Signs was. So
Mm.
it's like I'm not sure which helped out the other because I mean, who's to say if Leclerc was behind Verstappen, maybe he could have caught him. Maybe he could.
God,
Like that's what I'm saying. So like they put themselves in these favorable positions, but at the same time, what if the setup was 100% to blame, which it was. What the setup was 100% to blame for Sainz just not being able to pass Max. He can keep up, but he can't get into the position to pass him yet. But
man,
Leclerc, if he was there, he probably could have.
I'm thinking about this crazy timeline here where Ferrari doesn't absolutely botch the pit stop. Leclerc gets past the Alpines earlier, and they have the race reset. And who knows? What if he was behind Verstappen, or what if he was behind Carlos, and then it was Verstappen, Carlos, Leclerc, and then he got the chance to battle. Man, I don't
That's
know.
what I'm saying.
It
So I
hurts. It
don't like
hurts.
it's literally they look at every aspects of the setups and go, "All right, yeah, that's going to be the worst one for the weekend. Let's pick that one." That's what I think
Let's
they do.
let's pick the worst one.
Let's pick the how I say slowest one.
Holy shit.
Like,
Uh,
dude,
box, box. Stay out. No, stay out.
unbelievable, speechless, unbelievable.
Uh,
Like it's
uh.
literally they have the formula in front of their face, dog.
We're in
Just
the
put the
upside
recipe
down.
together. We're in the upside down. We're in an
Man.
alternate universe.
Yeah.
Ferrari's got a championship car and they're convinced they don't.
Yeah. What is that about, man?
Dude,
Yeah. At least. All right. Respect to Christian Horner for just being so relentless about winning. Cause like, man, that's what Ferrari needs. They need a little bit more like a little. I don't know what it is, but they need to get off the. Oh, we're gonna develop for next year. I think they've been in a rut for so long that they don't believe where they are right now. Yeah.
no, that's where like they can't even handle the winning position because they're like, ah, we have exceeded expectations, so we'll figure it out next year. What?
We're gonna develop more.
Bro, you canceled in the middle of the season to develop the next car like 3 years in a row, dog.
And you're only 49
Freaking
points
win.
behind the leader.
I know it's still firmly, dude. We're going to round 9. Like
Round
no,
9,
Ryan. Actually, no, round 10. Would
round 10.
I think Canada was round 9. So yeah,
I
like
don't know. I don't know.
it's just,
They're starting to
dude.
blend.
It like do some. It's literally that meme, bro. It's the rock on the ground and the stick figure poking the rock, going, "Do something, please." Like
Yeah,
it's just.
so I want to get a little sample idea. How do you think Silverstone plays out?
Oh, it's gonna be fast, and the cars that are fast and straight. Well, I actually, okay. I'm predicting McLaren double points because it has equally as amount of straights as
Well,
curves.
I don't want to get too far into the weeds of things right there, but
Oh.
I'm just saying, like, what do you think? Do you think Ferrari has the better setup, or does Red Bull have the better setup currently for the track?
Red Bull. I think Red Bull does for sure because I think they just have more practice on a track like that, more data on a track like that.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, like they've been in the competitive, like they've been in the championship winning mode on that track so many times with Hamilton and with the other teams. Like I I
Mhm.
think Red Bull definitely has the edge, but that's the thing. The Ferrari can shine on this track. 100% they can shine on this track because these straights are just long enough to right when the car starts porpoising, you're already slowing down to go into the next turn. So it's like
Yeah.
you could keep up. You could definitely keep up with the Red Bulls. But, which now it's almost like a blessing. Well, not really. It's still a DNF, but since Checo DNF'd, he has a brand new fresh power unit and
Yeah.
wasn't penalized for it because he met the criteria of the other one. So I don't know. I'm definitely giving the edge to Red Bull, but this would be a track Ferrari has the chance to capitalize on something. It's just going to be up to them.
They have to make it. They have to get a win this weekend, or
They
not
have to.
weekend, but that race weekend. They need to get a win.
A 1-3 would be nice because we know if Max isn't winning and he's finishing the race, he's coming in P2. So a 1-3 would be nice for Ferrari.
Yeah. It would be ideal. I think, man, yeah, it'll be fun to see. But yeah, we're gonna do a tier list for our next episode. We're gonna
Oh
rank our
yeah,
all the tracks. We're gonna really get into the details on what we like about the tracks. Now we want to do something fresh, keep it interesting, and
oh yeah.
you know, maybe we even have a face reveal.
I mean, who
Well, you
knows? You
guys
might
already
get
know
to
our
see my
faces.
ugly mug. Yeah, no, you definitely see our faces all the time on YouTube. But nah, man, I'm actually super stoked for that track tier list. That was such a good idea. Shout out to our boy on Twitter for giving us. I'm gonna plug your handle and everything. My bad, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but
Yeah,
uh, that was such a good idea. We're definitely gonna do that. I'm saving my number one. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows by now, but because I talk about it all the time, but I'm saving my number one pick for the video. But yeah, no, that video is gonna be so fun. Like I'm we all know where Miami's going to, but
number one S category.
S tier Miami track, the freeway and all.
My favorite part of the track is the parking lot. You don't know where the track ends and where the parking begins.
That is
Uh,
true. That is true.
but yeah, we're the Lockup Podcast. Tyler, hit him with
Yes,
the please.
sir. Yeah, this was episode 20. I mean, the Canadian GP. Honestly, I'd rate this GP like solid 8 out of 10, even a 9. Really, it was super exciting.
Yeah, best of the season.
Oh, best of the season by far. But yeah, guys, that was episode 20. Canadian GP recap. Hit us up on Twitter at TLUPF1 and hit us up on YouTube at the Lockup Podcast. And everything will be in the description. This will be on Anchor.fm for Spotify, Apple, Deezer, Stitcher, everywhere you could get a podcast, really. But yeah, hit us up. Hopefully, face reveal next episode, tier list next episode, and your deuces family.
See y'all.